And how are we all doing on this Friday here? This is Temierus here, and I have the game Tropical Escape today. Saying that it's one of those survival games, but is somehow different than one of those survival games. It also gives you a long screen that takes a while until you can make it go away to let you know that two 19-year-olds made it, and there's going to be bugs and don't let things happen. You know, the usual thing of, hey, we're a small team, that means you're not allowed to be mean. Or be critical, really, is kind of the apt term there. It's, if you're putting it out for sale, if somebody's going to be critical about it, you have to expect that to happen. That's just my thoughts on the matter. Alright, let's go ahead and hit this new game button. That's enough rambling for now. Let's ramble over the gameplay. After 4 days without sleep, you die. I don't think that's how the human body works, but okay. Good to know. We need sleep. Otherwise, the Grim Reaper comes and tells us. Oh.
We are expecting a storm tonight.
That radio part didn't sound so good. So where exactly do I know when they're gonna talk or not?
We have a problem. We have lost communication with second boat.
There's a second boat? I knew nothing about a second boat.
Check. Back in the cabin.
Got it.
We are in a huge storm. Mayday.
Okay. Is this game gonna keep going?
My head. Where are the others? Desmond, John.
I still don't have control over the game yet. There's just a lot of this happening, and I'm supposed to be happy with that. The boat doesn't look damaged at all.
It seems like there's nothing here. I should craft a raft and go to that big island.
Okay, so you have to craft a raft. No, you might be able to dig that, but how did that even get so buried up there? I don't know. Seems a little fishy. There's a shell there. Can I have that? I don't think I get to have that. I can run. I'm sure there's a stamina meter that will die of very quickly if we do that for too long. Jump. It's a little bit of a jump. Press F to interact. It's a lot of camera bobbing around. It's not exactly pleasant. It's not as unpleasant as the last tropically themed survival game I played. That was horrible. This is not anywhere near as horrible as that. It's telling me about catching things already, but I don't even think I have things that I can craft anything with. Yeah, I need things. I have no things. I don't have anything. Do I just start spamming the interact button all over the place to make this work? I don't even seem to have some way to punch a tree, so we can't do that one. There's an objective thing. Maybe I'm supposed to do what that says. A branch. Can't do anything with the branch. I kind of thought I would need that branch, but apparently no, I don't get the branch. I just have to live with that. There's a lizard! It's a lizard! What can I do with the lizard? I have to be able to do something with this lizard. I have to be able to take him and make him into my friend or something like that. Can't seem to do anything with the lizard. That's very upsetting. I did finally figure out the pickup key. Pickup and interact are two different keys. That doesn't feel at all necessary, in my opinion. Okay. Can't pick up that rock. Well, hopefully I don't need a rock. Pick up that wood. We'll pick up this branch. I like how the wooden branches are scattered across the sand. It doesn't seem that they are scattered within the area that the trees actually exist in. I'm not quite sure why the trees decide to throw the old husks that have fallen off of them, but apparently they do not like it in their area. Of course, I don't know, maybe they see it as littering. I guess to kind of do the compare contrast, if I had a bunch of just body parts that were lying on the floor, I'd probably want to move them too. I don't want that everywhere. Okay, so we found some apples. And our apple meter over there, that's convenient, is going down slightly. Man, there are a lot of bars over there. Okay, I'm in the drop zone. Do I just need to be here to do the crafting? Nope, that's the pause menu. There we go. Inventory. Which seems to have a completely separate mouse sensitivity from being in the world. That's annoying. Crafting. We can craft nothing. I can't use the branch. Why can I not turn the wood into a branch? That's something in these survival games I don't think I'll ever understand. Why the items have to be obtained in a very specific fashion, and why items that could become lesser versions of that item can't become the lesser version of that item. That's just apparently a thing. I don't get it. Some flint. We'll take that. Even though we appear to not really be able to do a damn thing with flint according to that menu. But we'll take it anyway. I can't even pick up these shells. We might need those at some point. There might be natives. We might be able to trade with them. That's a freaking crab over there. Can I punch a crab? Can I walk on a crab? I just scooped up a whole crab. Can I scoop up the lizard? I can't scoop up the lizard. That's dumb. Why can't I pick up a whole crab but not a lizard? What do I do with the crab? I think I don't do anything with the crab. I just have a crab now. He's in my pocket. I'm assuming that's where I stashed the crab. And that's a logical place to put a crab. Just right in the pocket. Especially the front pocket. That's the way when it's panicking and just trying to pinch everything. Try and break things apart or convince you to get rid of it. You know, there's nothing that your front pocket could reach that is vital. So it's a safe place for it. What? What was all that flailing about? Is it the sun? Did you not like the sun? It was kind of bright, but that's what the sun does. Perhaps the sun surprised him. I don't know. I'm not sure of much of what's going on here because in typical survival game fashion, it's Here's a world. There's things in it. Have at. No real explanation or justification for things. Granted, at least this game is trying to explain why you would want to do things on this island. Because there's apparently an actual end goal objective of being rescued. That's something you can apparently do. What are you doing? He's just flailing about. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be some universal sign for something, and I just don't know what that universal sign is or not. But as far as I'm aware, he just kind of randomly has to stop and have a freak out. Alright, so maybe I can stockpile my items here. Maybe that's what this is for. Because I can't do nothing with nothing. Oh, it drops one at a time. That's completely inconvenient. Drop the crab. Drop the cotton. Because we only have an inventory space of 10. I need to get out of the... There we go. Where'd that crab go? It ran off. I think it ran off. And then we went through all that trouble to get that crab. Nope. He's apparently hanging out there. I can't see though because it's dark. Because of course it is. Okay. I'm gonna wait until we eat our apple there. Because if you eat the food too soon in these things, there's just no more food to be able to do anything with. Why do you keep doing that? What is happening? What is the indication for something occurring there? Is it something I can do something about? Or is this just a feature of the game where you'll just stop and randomly flail about? Alright. I mean, it's not like anything that exciting's going on. Granted, today being when the video comes up tomorrow for me in real time, we're starting up our Time Travel Savage Worlds campaign. That's going to be interesting because, let's see here, what do we have? I think we have a Roman Legionnaire who's magic, I think it is. Because everybody's being superhero. I don't always get so interested in superheroes, especially when they just start being like Superman. I cannot get into that guy at all. I just cannot. Same's kind of with Spider-Man. Just don't really care for him that much. Powers are just a bit too crazy in my opinion. And that's why I'm just gonna be a regular dude in this campaign. Gonna have some, I'm gonna be using powers out of the Power Companion, but all it's gonna be is passive effects that I feel like, yeah, I can see that being just pure luck on somebody. If somebody just happens to be exceptionally lucky. Like, maybe not even it's necessarily a superpower, they just happen to be lucky. So yeah, that's where all my points are going, because I'm just a frontier-born, colonial-era gentleman. And gonna get picked up by the time traveler at some point, because that's how this campaign gets started. We run around with our Roman Legionnaire. There's one guy's playing a Neanderthal, and he's gonna have super strength, just as a Neanderthal. Have some other guy, I forget what his powers were, because I only just recently heard what his concept even was, but just a modern day son of a gambler who doesn't like his dad too much. I think it was. Then we have the horrible, just mutant monster blob creature, but can shapeshift himself, so here we're not always having to deal with some horrifying looking mutant monster blob thing. So that one's going to be interesting. Grant, he apparently screwed up the future for everybody by making that there were multiple, just not even really world wars, I would call them. They're written down in the history as world wars, but I see them much more as just world purges. To try and purge out all of the various superhero beings of which that guy is consisted of. So apparently the apple does not actually help hydrate us, even though it has much water in it. I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. I feel like there's something I'm supposed to be able to do about that, and I sure as hell don't know what it is. We crafted a textile. Look at us. I need that flint and one of those branches so I can actually see. Because this is pretty annoying. Get the branch. Get the frickin' branch! Okay. So I'm changing pace here in the video because when I was editing I managed to see the keys that came up. Because this key doesn't appear to be in the menu, even though it is a significant key, which is accessing the drop zone. I had like 30 minutes of me running around trying to think up random bullshit to say, because when you're not doing this, there's absolutely nothing to do. So we're going to find out if this makes the game at all more exciting, but I do not have high hopes, because goddamn was this thing pretty boring. And I'm betting it's going to remain so. Especially because I needed large amounts of branches, and finding a branch is like finding the goddamn Holy Grail. It just basically doesn't happen, and there's rumors of it happening. So I'm going to search around for a branch and engage in the main gameplay feature of a lot of these survival games out there, which is run around the map to find the resources that have been scattered about so I can eventually craft something to run around the map and find the resources that are scattered about to craft something to run around the map and find the resources scattered about to craft something. There's a rinse repeat cycle. I mean, at least this one dangles the carrot on the end of the stick of, no, there's actually an in-game goal. But I don't know. The games of just run around to craft for the sake of running around to craft, I just don't always find what the big appeal is there. It could be one thing if it's run around to craft, be able to craft really big, exquisite things, kind of like what you can do in, like, say, a Minecraft or the Fallout Settlement Builder. I will go that far as to pull in that random feature, which may or may not had any business being in the game that it was in. That's debate for another day, or a comment section. I don't care which. People can do what they please. I mean, there's not going to be any debate in the comment section, let's be honest here. Basically, nobody comments on these things. I mean, I have a subscriber count, which never lines up with the view count. So there's tons of people that are coming in, subscribing to this channel, and then never watching a video that gets posted up ever again. I don't quite understand the mentality, but hey, if it works for you on YouTube, more power to you. Man, I got really off topic there. Oh well, I'm sticking with it. Because I need to somehow entertain myself as I run around this honestly, though there's a lot of plant life and there's some lizards and some crabs running around, this is an environment that is just devoid of life. There's just nothing. A whole lot of nothing. Crafting. Can't do any of that crafting. So we pile up the items here so we can craft with the drop zone. But if we pile up the items there... Oh. Okay. But if we pile the items up here, we can't craft these items, which are the things that you craft with the stuff on your person. Because, you know, that's definitely not a nuisance or anything. Kidding. It's incredibly annoying. So I'm gonna take this time of this strolling in the dark to be sure to remind everybody, because you may be looking at this game going, well, it's an early access game, because basically if you put a survival game on Steam, 9 times out of 10 it's an early access one. And, you know, I can see exactly why you would think that. Why you would think that this might be an early access title. And, you know, I might be a bit more forgiving to it if it was an early access title. But of course, that's all just what ifs, because this is not an early access. I mean, the two guys that made it said that they're willing to add more content into the game, which so far from what I've seen, by God, you need to add more content in this game because there just isn't any. So they're stating that they will go and add the content to the game. Basically, they just behave like this is an early access game, but it's not an early access game. It's a $10 marketed as a finished full product on Steam. So that was a weird little jump we did there. So I kind of am going to hold it to the standard of other games I would expect to cost $10 as a finished product. I mean, at $10, you're, what, asking about half the price of something like a Hellblade? So, at half the price of a Hellblade, I should expect at least half of a satisfying game as, you know, a Hellblade. Perhaps the bar is set very high there, but I'm not actually going to hold out for an exact half or anything like that. That'd be stupid. That'd be stupid. But so far, I am not seeing anything that suggests $10 to me. Perhaps others are. I'm not. None of this appears to be $10 worth. Right, I didn't find the... I think there's like 2 flint scattered about this island. I didn't find it, so I don't get to make a torch to be able to see in the dark. Because that's the rules. Yeah, I don't have any of the stuff I had with the video left off because I didn't bother saving the progress because I honestly didn't think I was ever going to open this thing again. I was just going to close it, just never look at it again. But I ended up seeing that that control was there, so I'm like, you know what? Let's try and give it its fair shake. And that's what I'm trying to do. All I'm doing is just actually being more bored than the last time I got so bored I had to close the game. Because there's just nothing. Though it's trying to act like some kind of lush tropical island, like I said earlier, it's just devoid of life. You know what? There's an island over there. Let's try and swim to the island. I'm sure I actually need the raft to be able to truly make it, but we're gonna try. Plus, islands might pop in like those plants did, because even though Unreal can handle an actually decent draw distance, there's so many games that are being made on Unreal that don't have any amount of draw distance. So I guess everybody is terrified of having draw distance in their game. There's an oxygen meter over there. I'm curious how long this man can hold his breath. And so far, it appears to be an incredibly long time. I don't understand why he can hold his breath for this now absolutely obscene amount of time, but he gets hungry super fast. Well, I'm all kinds of disoriented now. That looks to be the surface. Yeah, that's the surface there. Well, that's our tiny island of nothing. So we need to try and continue on to the big island of maybe something. I don't think left shift makes us swim faster. There's gonna be a time skip right here. Okay, so we have finally swam all the way to this island. It took a really long time. It was so long, and with absolutely nothing happening, I actually just put the weight of my microphone on my W key, so I didn't have to sit here and hold it the whole time to try and find, well, anything. And so far, it's a lot of the same of what we saw earlier, which is, well, nothing. We have our continuing to just spaz about. I know, I think what's happening there is that there's bugs flying around and he's trying to fling the bugs away. If that's going to be the case, well, why does the game not have any way to stop the bugs or prevent the bugs even? That just makes sense in my mind. I don't know if I can have the will to try and do anything on this island here. Because anything I find, like once I hit the 10 items, I'd be trekking all the way back over there so I can pray that I found enough stuff to be able to build the raft, which is what the objective is. Which I bet when I build the raft, it's going to tell me to come all the way over here. And then this might be where the game is actually going to be. Which would then lead me to wonder, did the game just start here where there was actually stuff? Rather than over there, where I would get to be really bored. And then not want to come over here because I would be really bored. I think I just saw the outline of a ship. We're gonna look to see if something's exciting there. I'm not holding my breath. Yeah, I made it to the ship, and like I thought, there was just nothing. That seems to be the story of this game. It's just nothing. It said it wanted to be different than a lot of the other survival games that are out there. It's a lot like a lot of the ones that are out there, which is really just a whole lot of nothing.